Fast forward in come our channel so I say AGH Politics Avenue. Political stories are training because we headlines. Najimba need to be Akroma. Need to be Braxioma. Any day we share me and not subscribe to the channel one. Why? Now what me high notification bell share. Now for friends answer into me. Just comment constructively under the comment section. Any day you rain some. Now I'm not mind head of states 200 and UN for him say umbitimi ababi pimu o America. Na mena okasidi His Excellency John Dramani-Mahama onia ko amonani okwa akushia eye mpinfo ewo eye US New York wakudru ho onya enya asamkoto akra na okọ ho na mpani apa Ghana for ebu twini ebo eji papa iswa onya enya asamkoto akra. The course of the best at this point in time, yes, Henry, Yamungram, near Moyenu, Akroma, Papano or Yejuma.
Security at the 80th United Nations General Assembly will be tighter than ever. Some 200 world leaders are expected to fly into New York City at a period when global conflicts are raging. Topmost Gaza, Israel, Russia, and Ukraine. Those tensions will be reflected at the United Nations. The quiet before the storm that will bring New York City to its annual gridlock. US Head of State Donald Trump will address the world on Tuesday. Ghana has had a strong representation at the United Nations in times past. But for John Mahama's famous entry into the United Nations building in 2012 after assuming the reins of power made waves and international headlines.
It's not sympathy we want, it's partnership. The ability to stand on our own feet. It's not handouts we're in search of, it's opportunities. We've already shown with time and the right opportunity, Africa can make it.
John Mahama has maintained a strong international reputation with his command over global issues that had earned him leadership slots even whilst out of administration 8 years ago. Upon returning to the reins of power for a final 4-year term and leading the charge to ensure that reparative justices perform their mandates effectively. A strong point he intends to push firmly at a high-level debate on Thursday. In the United States, expectations from Ghanaians are high.
We are expecting him to deliver, and he will deliver as expected. He is a strong man, he's a man with a lot of expertise, and we expect that, yes, he will live up to expectation.
Those of us in the healthcare in the diaspora, we can see that he's doing a very good job. Very soon, we will not have a case whereby people have to be flown from Ghana to the diaspora to seek any health care.
In his capacity as the African Union's champion for financial institutions, he will host 2 significant side events, including crucial bilateral meetings with the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, various heads of state, and global leaders such as the president of the Rockefeller Foundation. And the president will also engage with the US Africa Chamber of Commerce and make history by visiting NASDAQ, where he is expected to ring the closing bell. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, 45th Street, United Nations Headquarters, New York. The quiet before the storm that will bring New York City to its annual gridlock. US Head of
Well, that's the atmosphere there. Now, this year is the 80th session of the United States Nations General Assembly, and it's on the theme 80 years and more for peace, development, and human rights. And this is what has been happening today, day one. And statehood of Palestinian took center stage at a conference hosted by France and Saudi Arabia, and also the Security Council held an emergency meeting on the recent incursion by Russian fighters just into the Estonian airspace. In the coming days, tomorrow, all things being equal, we'll see the United Nations Security Council expected to hold a meeting on the war in Gaza and the security situation, and also the world leaders expected to gather for a climate summit. And this is where we're zooming straight to what's happening with respect to the Ghanaian interest at the United Nations General Assembly. And Komla Kluche is a senior presidential affairs correspondent, who's joining us live from the streets of New York right now. And Komla, talk to us. How has day one of the UN General Assembly been as we speak?
Well, I mean, Alfred, it's been very, very busy for both the POG named the President of Ghana, the First Lady, and also the Foreign Affairs Minister. All of them have their programs they are running, even though, I mean, they are intertwined in one way or the other. But being quite a tight one for the future, like I did say, a lot of the meetings has been holding where the private ones, holding bilateral meetings, and also, the signing of MOUs, most especially by the foreign minister. And then also the First Lady had that children encounter at the prayer section for children of the United Nations, quite a powerful one that she delivered this morning. But one of the things that's been looked at is for tomorrow. I can tell you, I mean, we're speaking to you. We just got to the permanent mission of Ghana here to the United Nations here in New York. This is where everything about Ghana happens. But right across down is where the United Nations office or the headquarters is, where we've been all day. It's been up and down, busy moment, because the opening session of the plenary happened today, where the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, and the former Liberian head of state, Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf, spoke, and they expressed concern about world peace and also the fact that women have been marginalized, irrespective of the Beijing Convention, where they're marking 30 years of it. It hasn't really reflected as to what women should be doing in terms of taking a center stage. But Alfred, let me run by you. Let's indicate that tomorrow the high level will actually be officially opened, and that is when the President of the United States, Donald Trump, is expected to give that opening address. Is the reason why you can see a lot of gridlock. I mean, just behind me, because far away from here down south, almost all the roads are blocked because of what's going to be happening tomorrow, because Donald Trump would be in town. Secret Service, we have the LAPD, who for all this period have been on the street. But Alfred, what I can say is also, like you did ask, the Ghanaian interest. What else would the president be doing? From the itinerary that we get, the president would be at the UNHQ tomorrow at 8 a.m. By 8:30 a.m. and he will take part in that high-level meeting, which is the official opening of the heads of state who would be there. Now, after he has had that engagement, the First Lady will also be having some other engagement. But very topical would also be a meeting with the UN Secretary General. We also know that he will be having some engagement with the Rockefeller Foundation, where he will be selling the Ghana story on the research agenda to the foundation. This is to bring in a lot of investment. This is also to put the country on a pedestal where businesses or the country has been open for business and also for a lot of investment. Now, the other things that the president would also be doing on Thursday, the president would be addressing the world from the headquarters, and that's at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 4 p.m. in Ghana. And the president will be making the point forcefully or especially when he leads the financial committee, so to speak, of the African Union, championing how Africa should be able to stand on its own feet financially. The issue of reparations has also come to play. The president would forcefully be making the point that it is not just about handout, but it's also about giving back what belongs to Africa. And the fact that Africa does not just need, the handouts that should be doled out, but they need to stand on its feet. And in standing on its feet, it means that there should be a level of respect. There should be a level of cooperation that should be. These, among others, are a few things that the president will be doing. But I can tell you, meetings of this like at the UN is very, very packed. And from one meeting to the other, sometimes by the time the president and his entourage is done for the day, it's way late into the night. But these things are supposed to happen. But I'll just paint a picture, just right there. You can see over there one of the roads blocked leading towards the UN headquarters over there. The LAPD, you see the barricades from your shot over there, that they are trying to block the road. And this is just a different arrangement at every minute or at every point in time. Often, the LAPD, the Secret Service, and what we call, or what has been termed the clandestine security officers, are on the lookout, blocking roads here and there. The import of this is also as a result of the fact that the president of the United Nations will be in New York. His home or his house is not far away. The Trump Tower is not far away from the UNHQ. And so this is what the situation is like right here in New York. New York is actually a very busy, for want of a better word, a busy city. But because of these activities of the United Nations, 80 years, it's become much more busier in times like this, especially when the United Nations headquarters is really activated for their annual meetings.
Great detail there, comprehensive reporting there. Fantastic. Kamala, now just giving us the atmosphere of what they're walking us through what's going on and how the streets of New York look as we speak. Now, you've been speaking to some members of the Ghanaian community there, Ghanaians living in New York, and they've been talking to you about the expectations of the president. What have they been telling you?
Well, many of them say it's not the first time. John Mahama has had, a certain amount of command when it comes to international diplomacy. Mind you, the history of him being a communications minister, also being a journalist, and also because of the opportunity given to him by Professor John Evans Mills, for him to have met a lot of world leaders, the fostering that he had in the past, many of the people who believe in his administration say that he's in a better place position. The reason why the responsibility is on him from the African Union, from ECOWAS, to be able to speak for them, for want of a better word. Their expectation for them is for the president not just speaking to the continent or speaking to the world, but there are issues concerning back home as well. But they have equally expressed confidence in the fact that in just about the 9 months that the president has been in office, they've seen significant improvement. Even though there is room for improvement, they think that he said the right thing. They think that with the pace he's going, if he has the complement of his appointees, there's no doubt that the reset agenda that he's put around him, he'll be able to achieve it. But the issue now remains as to what the commitment is going to be even by his own appointees, which he himself has expressed a lot of confidence or reposed a lot of confidence in them. But the question remains, to what extent would the appointees be complementing the hard work of the president? Looking at the lengthy time, the chief of staff is here, the secretary to the president is here, the deputy chief of staff, the two of them are here. The Minister for Health is here. The GITC board is here. We've also seen the National Health Insurance Authority board, Dr. Victor Papo, who is also here. A host of others. The NDPC boss himself is also here. The foreign minister is also here. These are people who form, the fulcrum of the government of John Mahama, and so it tells you the kind of stake that this brings to them, and also the level of interest that they have. But at the end of the day, what does Ghana gain? That is what it is. Now, I mean, I'm trying up for you to see the helicopter way up there. Those are part of security reasons, and this is very common. It's been going on for the past almost 1 week or so, but it's been heightened a lot of at every 1 minute or so. You see a chopper moving all over the skyscrapers and ensuring that security is top-notch. Security is high on the alert here in New York City, which is hosting the 80th year of the United Nations.
Some great detail, great reporting, Komla. Appreciate you for this. And he's going to be on the ground. He's bringing you everything you need to know about the United Nations General Assembly's the 80th session. Exclusive detail here on TV3 and across all media journal platforms. Komla Kluche is there for us in New York and will bring you everything you need to know. It's a senior presidential affairs correspondent right there live from New York City. Komla Kluche there. On behalf of the rest of the team, we want to say thank you so much.
Really let anybody, and to make sure they see the excavators, they see trammels and all of that. And there are a lot of people also now producing and manufacturing the trammels for washing the gold on site. And for me, it's quite surprising, even though there's an act at 995 which forbids anybody from fabricating equipment. This is happening broad daylight by the roadside. Right from right from Mosino, you see people doing construction work. So I think that there's a lot more to be done in this particular area in dealing with the Galamsey menace.
It's important that you reference the Ayensu River because, as you indicated, that's the source for the Kwenyako headworks that has been shut down as a result of the increasing turbidity, the pollution of that water that has led to the breakdown of that treatment plant. That's led to some water crisis in a number of communities in the central region, including the Afutu and other areas. Galamsey, as far as we do know, doesn't take place in Kwenyako and its environs. But the Ayensu River, which is the source for these headworks, is in the eastern region where Galamsey is taking place. So that's the source of the pollution that has led to this shutdown of the headworks, isn't it?
Yes, they're very correct. And so there's a lot of mining going on at Enuma Pepin, which is which is actually sitting very close to the Ayensu River. So they are really doing a lot of the illegal activities and then affecting the people downstream, which is the central region, and all those dependent on the river downstream now. So actually, that is actually the sad situation of the whole Galamsey thing, because there are people upstream doing all the illegalities and a lot of people downstream who are not involved, but have to suffer for it. And that is how come you see people mining in the Pra River. Even though there are a lot of communities that depend on the river, they are downstream, they are not really engaged, but they are affected. It's the same with the Densu. If people start mining in Portoise, say, for example, where the Densu comes out of the Akwa Forest Reserve, then people downstream, people at Nkoko, people at Nsawam, and then people in Accra who depend on the reservoir at the Makati area would also, or Wager area will also be affected. So I think that we really need to pay attention to the Galamsey issue. Unfortunately, we are not getting the necessary decisive actions because our leaders are playing with it, and their solutions are there, but we are deliberately beating around the bush and not getting these issues. So, actually, it's a very, very serious situation. So, for me, we've been doing this advocacy for so long. We've been trying to warn the government that, look, the fact that we are being negligent in dealing with this matter is going to be serious consequences, not just for those who are upstream, but also for us downstream who have nothing to do with Galamsey. And that is why there's also issues of food poisoning and likely to be coming out of a lot of the contamination of our food system also because of Galamsey. So I said it's really bad. The people in the central region, unfortunately, have to suffer from the illegality that is happening at the Nima Pepin on the Ayensu River.
And Darryl, quickly, before I let you go, when you, together with the task force in this Ebuakwa South Municipal Assembly, we're going around tracking the activities of illegal miners, we understand the drone that you're using was destroyed by these illegal miners. That's earlier. We have a video of that. Let's take a look at this. This is what the 1957 that's news put out there on what happened to your drone. Now, tell us exactly what happened. Did they really shoot down your drone?
Oh yes, I think the team was working with a team set up by the MC, and then as they were in the field, they went to one side, and as the people were running away, even though they saw the officers, they saw them running away, the drone was flying behind a hill, coming towards the side, and I think maybe because over the hill, the people could also see the drone far up there, they were able to shoot at it, and then it fell. So I think for a moment, I mean, we're not able to do anything with the drone.
We ain't some who team course watching on so Mamma so Jim Ewaha, a sentence of body, Eddie Adumbi Edumia. If I send him, na Yasumo Consum Sukra, GH Politics Avenue.